So, we've heard how Jack and Peggy came to be here. I suppose I should follow a bit in that. And from Dale also, don't want to forget Dale AJ. Okay, Dale also. I have to put my glasses on. Because in many ways, my journey to SMU was a lot closer to the journey that a lot of you made as students. But first, I want to stick to my remarks a bit. I'd like to begin by sending greetings from the homeland, Dallas, Texas, and the many who could not be here. I had an equity meeting with Chambly Ferguson the other day. He sends big hugs to everybody. I had a brief conversation with Jenna Worthen the other day, whom I invited, and she declined, but she wants to know all about it when I get back. So we will have a lunch, probably sitting in her dining room at her table, and I'll tell her all about it. And from Dale Moffat also, who is having some health challenges now, but he's still kicking, so greetings from all of them. And also from Susie Stevens, whom you saw as Hedda a while ago, with whom I visited back east this summer. And Joe Cantu, now at Ole Miss, whom I saw at American College Theater Festival in Denison, Texas, 2 weeks ago, where he was a responder, and I was doing guest workshops in the Michael Chekhov technique and acting on camera, which is pretty much what I've evolved to these last couple of years. So, I came to SMU as a graduate student in 1979. Well, that's not really true. I already had my MFA and 6 years of teaching experience when I arrived to join the faculty, but I can still remember drooling over the flyer announcing SMU's International Stage Movement Conference, posted on the theater department call board. This was at Antioch College in Yellow Springs, Ohio, which is a real freak school. You barely had a call board. When I was an undergrad and wishing I could attend. And now, well then, I was about to become a part of something even better. It was body dynamics and energy work with Jim Hancock, technique and style with Jack Clay, moment-to-moment work with Mez Kezdekian, monologue work with Dale A.J. Rose, design with Bill Eckhart. The last show Bill designed was my Scottish play in Dallas. He died before the show opened, and one of his former students finished the design out. It was pretty fucking amazing. Text work and notes, lots of notes with Peggy Loft. There was a lot of sitting in on each other's classes back then, really getting to know all aspects of, quote, the work, unquote, as we fondly called it. A lifelong commitment to exploration, discipline, skill, and growth. It was intoxicating. It was the beginning of my experiencing what I've come to call the wonder and comfort of being wrapped in the arms of a play. SMU was a place where process thrived, where passion was a prerequisite for life, where we made demands on ourselves and one another because we cared so much and felt a tremendous responsibility to the work of creating transcending theater. Oh, don't cry, Susie. My Susie friend. A lot of C words come to me when I think of those days. Conference hours, curriculum meetings, casting sessions. I can't read. Critiques. Cuts. Yeah. Cast parties where I served beer because the drinking age was 18 back then. Yeah. There were also the league auditions. Stage number 1. Studios. These are not C words. I know these are. I've moved on. S18 and S23. The Jones. The Hope. SMU was a place where you could disagree with someone and still work with him or her. Still learn from him or her. Still love him or her. You could be intimidated or confused by someone and later realize that he or she had become your inspiration, your governor, your northern star. SMU also taught me that there was a time to stay, a time to go, and even a time to return. I wouldn't be who I am today without my SMU experience. That's a good thing. As Mary, the intrepid explorer, says in On the Verge by Eric Overmyer, directed by Jack Clay at stage number 1. And by the way, I was not cast in that show originally. I just want to say that it was a dream role. And I can remember meeting with Jane Ryan, and I don't remember who all else working on that fucking script until we thought we would die. And then someone dropped out. And after the week of table work, when all of that bizarre, dense, incredible text was studied and dissected, I came into the cast. And man, it was incredible, just incredible. I have a story I might tell after that, but let me finish this. So, directed by Jack Clay at stage number 1, and featuring yours truly, just before she disappears in a blaze of light, headed for the future, says, not annoying at all. So my story about this particular production, I've told it many times when I've been asked to speak about what theater means to me. And I think it's appropriate that I share it now. We were rehearsing the show at the Greenville Avenue Theater, and we were rehearsing in corsets, heeled boots, backpacks, full-length skirts with machetes on a thrust stage that was also a revolve. It was the most bizarre, demanding set I think I'd ever worked on. And we were going into tech rehearsal. And I was teaching the sophomore work at that time, and somebody came into class and said, Gail, the Challenger just blew up. I went, right. And in fact, the Challenger had just disintegrated upon takeoff that day. And that night, we had our first tech rehearsal of On the Verge. And in the last moment of the show, Mary, the character I was playing, refuses to stay stuck in the 50s. Everybody else is into bowling and Cool Whip. And Mary says, no, I am going on. And right before she leaves, they go, please tell us about the future. And there was this page-long list of things that she is osmosing from the future. And Eric came and he kept changing the list every night. And I'm never going to memorize this. So here I was, perched on the verge of the future. And there's a sound cue that came that Will had created, Jack's son. And the sound cue went, and it sounded like what a space shuttle might sound like when it took off. And I had this moment of going, oh, I know what it must have been for those people to be on that shuttle, taking off and disappear in a blinding blaze of light. And that was my exit in the show. Lights flashed on the stage and I ran off and I disappeared in a blaze of light. And I thought, my God, if theater can give me a glimpse of what that is, to be able to imagine what those people must have experienced in that moment, that transcending moment. What a gift to be doing that. It was incredible. And I suppose that's my defining experience of, or way of communicating, attempting to communicate my experience at SMU. It was a blaze of light that I still remember and carry with me. And for those of you that want to know the other ways that I connect to you as students, I came here with my husband, Mark Hoagland, who will be remembered later. And it was a serendipitous thing. This amazing job opened up for me, teaching at SMU. And that same year, Mark had been admitted into the directing program. And it was like, oh my God, we have money from you, money from me. We have a kid, we're going to Dallas. And that was the beginning of an amazing time for me, but is so often the case, it's not for people that you love and care a great deal about. And Mark left the program after 1 year. And what was so incredible to me in retrospect was, though he left and went on a very different path, I stayed. Because I couldn't go. It was the most incredible opportunity I'd ever had. And I think that's so often the case, that we are confronted with something and we have to make an incredibly difficult choice. And we decide to stay because we have to. So I want to applaud all of you who came and stayed, and all of you who came and left and went on to other lives. And I just think this is pretty fucking amazing. So thank you all.